Everyone, hello. Welcome to my live show, or welcome back. This is Asian Mental Health Talks. I am Trixie, aka the Thoughtful Beast, and I am your host. I'm just pinning this really quick, and then we're going to start talking about this affirmation, which is about us keeping our powers. Am I not allowed to pin this? There we go. Our superhuman powers. Just kidding. Just our normal human powers. So these Asian mental health talks are inspired by my Golden Goddess affirmation cards. If you would like to purchase them, I pinned the link. They're also on my website at www.thethoughtfulbeast.com. You'll find them. They're called Golden Goddess. So let's get to it. The card, the affirmation for today is: others want to chip pieces of me away because they see my power. I will not let them take away what they refuse to create for themselves. One more time. Some of you can see this correct way. Others want to chip pieces away. No focus. Others want to chip pieces of me away because they see my power. I will not let them take what they refuse to create for themselves. Ooh, okay. That is the affirmation. So when I actually think of this affirmation, I actually think of the TV show called Pose. And if you haven't seen Pose, it's about transgender women and the ballroom community in New York. And it takes place in the past, right? Yeah, it definitely takes place in the past. It's a great show. It's on Netflix. It's very intense, but it's really good. And one of the lines from the first episode, I think, or I guess one of the scenes, is the main character, Blanca. She took in this younger gay man, was being really nice to him, kind of realized that he was a runaway and wanted to help. And Emmett, is that his name? Man, it's been a while since I saw the season. I'm going to call the younger boy Emmett. And the younger is just like, I think he's supposed to be like 16, 17, 18. Anyways, he ran away to New York. He basically treats Blanca like crap after she helped him. And finally, he apologizes to her and she says, basically because Emmett is a black gay man and Blanca is a transgendered black woman, she says, there's no one, she said she understood, and there's no one lower on like basically the pole for him to take his anger out on. And I wish I explained it better, but that's kind of the gist. The gist of it being, when you are suffering and when you are being oppressed, it is normal that you want to take it out on someone who is lower than you. And that's actually what I think of when I think of this affirmation. Others want to chip pieces of me away because they see my power, right? In this situation, when we're talking about Blanca and Emmett wants to take away Blanca's power because he feels powerless and he wants to feel someone else. He wants to make someone else feel powerless. And I'm saying I will not let them take what they refuse to create themselves. So in a broader sense, I'm thinking of, to be honest, I'm thinking of men who like to put down women because that's how they feel empowered, unfortunately. And I think that's crap. And that's really hard and it's very unfair. And I really do feel like when people do that, it is in response to something. I don't want to believe that people are innately like buttholes. I feel like when people are hurt because our society doesn't put a lot of care and thought into teaching young girls and boys how to deal with their emotions and express themselves, We get bullies. We basically get bullies, which is unfortunate. And again, the only way they see that they could have power, get more power, feel powerful is to make someone feel less and take away their power. So if you are the person being bullied, so me, for example, if I'm the person being bullied, I have to set a boundary around that, right? And that might mean actually sticking up to people. That might mean just not listening to them and letting it go. You know, that's always your own personal choice. But whatever you choose to do, whether you choose to stand up to someone or just ignore them, you know, knowing the part is that we're trying to know that they can't actually take away like the power you have. And that's where it's really hard, because when we talk about mental health, and for me, when I've talked to therapists and I've been in therapy and group therapy sessions, a lot of it is saying, you know, yes, take responsibility for your mental health. No one can make you feel a way you don't want to feel. And that thought has always been confusing to me. And I think I understand where people are trying to come from, right? Because it's trying to say we do have control over our emotions. People might try to make us feel a certain way by treating us poorly. And we can make that stop. I think it's supposed to be it. Like, that's supposed to be the responsibility part, where that either means, again, you ignore them or you say something to them, you stand up to them. And this is the part where, though, like, it became confusing, because even though, yes, we do have some control of our emotions and we have definitely control of our behaviors and everything, words still hurt, right? We're still affected. Even if we don't want to be affected, I feel like it's hard for most people to not feel affected, even if they stand up to the person who is saying something to them, even though, you know, you might know that you're being bullied. You might be very aware that someone is mistreating you, and you know that their actions are bull caca and they have nothing to do with you. And knowing that is great. And I think that's that part where it's supposed to be, I will not let them take what they refuse to create themselves, right? It's just like, well, I have my inner peace. I'm working on my self-confidence. I'm working on all that. I'm not going to let you take that from me. But I do feel it's hard not to let everything not affect you. And that's coming from my own experience. Even when I get into interpersonal situation conflicts where I know this person is just being cruel to me right now, and I know they're wrong, it still hurts, right? Especially when it comes from family or friends or people you trust, it still hurts. Because it does. Because you are human. We are human. And it still even hurts when it's just like a stupid coworker at work, right? It's just someone who is having a bad day that you don't even really know, and they're just taking it out on you. And I think it's very important that, again, we do take responsibility for our emotions, and we take responsibility by trying to protect them, right? Oh, hello. Let me turn that off really quick. It's really important that we protect them, but also don't feel bad if you still feel bad afterwards. It's hard, you know, when you are being personally attacked, when you are being shaken. It's human to feel scared. It's human to feel sad and mad. Then we have to take responsibility for ourselves and like check our own like behaviors and emotions, so we don't create like a tumbleweed of hate, basically. Tumbleweeds are apparently really hard to kill, and they will plant everywhere and kill those plants there and travel. So, you know, again, we don't want to create tumbleweeds of hate. I'm going with that. I will not let them take what they refuse to create for themselves. This is a mindset I am trying really hard to adapt. I know, and I've experienced other people trying to belittle me because they want to stay in power, or they think, I don't know, maybe they actually do think that they're better than me and I am less than, because, and this is like a big one, I feel like, maybe not just for artists, but maybe everyone in their career, like, you haven't paid your dues, right? So you're less than, the things that you make, the work that you do is less than because you haven't paid your dues. And I honestly feel like that's such antiquated thinking to me. I think I use that word correctly. Like, it's such old thinking, and I honestly feel like it's a way to just keep people down. Pay your dues. It also just sounds like a white patriarchal thing, because if we go on that, like, guess who are all the people on top for like weird, not great reasons? Someone's trying to call me. Hang up on that. But pay your dues just means like, oh, I have to work all this time and do all this stuff and wait a very long time for me to get up at all. When in reality, a lot of the times, just like, oh no, this person just doesn't like you. Like, no, like, you're not part of this boys club, or, I don't know, you don't. Obviously, because I'm a woman, a lot of my things have been around race. Around gender, but also around race, which is why I said it. But I think that kind of thinking of like, you need to pay your dues, you need to do this to be a good artist, you need to have years of this, is just really dumb. It's really dumb. It sounds dumb to me. It just sounds like a way of like trapping people that you want to stay at the bottom because you want to stay at the top. It has nothing to do with anyone's actual like talents or ability or anything like that. So it's really unfortunate. It's unfortunate that things work that way. And that's something that, like, we need to notice. And once we notice it, then we can, again, like, not let other people take away our own power. We can ignore it. We can know what it is. We can maybe leave that job. And those are hard sacrifices right now, but because of COVID and the pandemic, sometimes quitting your job seems like not great. But I don't know, there's also a trend of people quitting their job, so maybe that is them. Maybe the world does want to like actually have their power and not be stomped on by all these other people. People will always want to take advantage, unfortunately, and treat people, quote unquote, lower than them lower and beat them down. I don't know why. I it's very hard for me. Again, I'm not like a pessimist or an optimist. I'm a realist, and it's really hard for me to not think that humanity's default setting right now is being a total piece of crap, because people will want to take advantage. Corporations, people who made those corporations, they want to take advantage. It's super difficult, but it's something that we have to realize, so again, that we can protect our own power. And it's something that I feel as a woman, a lot of men have tried to take in like my power and my identity and who I am and tell me lesser, or treat me just like a cute little Asian girl and just see me that way, because that just makes them feel better, because they don't want to recognize that I'm a full-on adult person, woman with like a brain and her own opinions, and I'm pretty strong. A lot of people don't want to see that. And I've also had, like, unfortunately, like, older women, like white and of other ethnicities, also just try to put me in my place just because I was younger, trying to tell me I didn't know my art, trying to tell me like I don't really know because I'm not old enough to know myself, and I don't deserve to be in the same shows as they do because I haven't paid my dues. And I'm just like, yo, I work really hard. So this turning into a ramble, but I'm just trying to give you like all the different experiences that I face and all the different things I think about this card. Again, all my cards are really loaded. This is kind of just like a personal explosion and riff off of my thoughts. Others want to chip pieces away. It's okay, Trixie. Just calm down and read. I keep not calming down. Others want to chip pieces of me away because they see my power. Because people can see my potential and because people can see what I can do, they want to take that power from me. I will not let them take what they refuse to create for themselves. I think that we all can have power in this world. I feel like there is space for everyone. I do believe that not everyone believes that. I do believe that many people think about scarcity mindset. And so therefore they feel like they have to take from you, because if they don't take from you, then they're not going to have anything or enough. And enough for a lot of people who like to take, let's say like billionaires, for example, like you don't even need that. And you're in like a crazy exponential, you have a crazy exponential amount of money. That's just making money because they're an investment. So you already have billions of dollars and you're still growing it from literally just having money to invest, which is insane. We're not going to go on that super tangent, but well, it's not a tangent. That's just like a real example of what's happening. And so I think it's really important that we don't live in a scarcity mindset, that we do believe that there's enough room for everyone. There's enough room for everyone. There are some buttheads trying to take all the room so that, we don't have any space. But that's kind of, and that's where I feel the concept of like taking space, like that's where it comes from. Like, take your space. You deserve the space that you have. You deserve to have ideas. You deserve to share ideas. Even if you're new somewhere, like new ideas don't just come from being at somewhere for a really long time. New ideas come from like different new experiences. I don't know why younger people are shut down a lot, or someone newer to a place. Like, obviously sometimes if they're literally trying to talk about like the work culture of somewhere and they've been there for 5 seconds, that's an example of like, you don't really know what it is yet, because like that you really have to, you really do have to know, unless like off the bat everyone like comes over and shuts you down, then you're like, no, this work culture is toxic. Then it's just like, yeah, no, you do understand. But there are some things, yes, to maybe understand completely, you need time. That's fair. Oh, here's a better example. Like being in a relationship, right? And knowing your partner, knowing your boyfriend, the person you're dating, like that takes time. You can't just know someone off the bat. That kind of stuff takes time, and that's fine. But when it comes to just like work and having ideas, or just you being a human being and having your own opinions, like you're allowed to have that. You're allowed to discuss. You're allowed to learn. You have the power to learn, and this is a little off tangent though, but like if you don't know about something, like ask or learn. Oh my gosh. When you guys are searching for stuff here, this is this is a website that I wish given. There's a lot of panic in me today. Anxiety up. We're going to take a breath. There is a medical website. It might be a medical journal, but basically it's called PubMed. And it's a bunch of articles of experiments about certain things for medical things. It has like the whole, like, here's the abstract, here's the methodology, here's this, and here's the conclusion about health things you want to look up. So instead of using BuzzFeed, please use like PubMed, or use like the National Institute of Health. And if you don't trust that because you don't trust our government and blah, 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 and I understand that too. I said blah, 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 but I'm like, no, part of me doesn't trust like our government with medicine either. But I do trust the NIH, and I do trust PubMed. Those are like actual scientific articles for us to look at to try to understand science behind like vaccines and things. I will not let others take away what they refuse to create for themselves. I will not let them take what they refuse to create for themselves. We do have power. People will try to take it. We don't have to let them. And we can fight together. We're all here and together. These past couple days especially with the recall happening, I've been very hyper alert. I don't want to say sensitive. It's more like hyper alert to danger. Because the world is scary. And I was saying this to my boyfriend, the world is scary because even though I don't believe everyone is like, or I'm really trying hard to believe that people aren't inherently bad, I know that really a lot of the bad behavior is coming from fear, right? In general. A lot of aggression can come from anger, but first from fear. I do believe that. And I think, and I feel that, I want to believe that most people don't want to hurt other people, but I very much know that fear can make people do crazy things that they wouldn't necessarily do, which is why I've been really anxious and why I've been kind of scared. And that's something, again, like I'm trying to focus on right now is not letting people take my safety, my feelings of safety away from me. Like there's valid reasons of why I don't feel safe, but there are other things that, can make me feel a little paranoid or like really heighten how I'm feeling in a negative way. And I do need to embrace like the other things to remember that like I'm not alone. You're not alone. That's why I kind of want to do these talks, because they remind me that like I'm not alone in how I think and even the things I'm afraid of. And that helps me keep my power. That helps me keep my cool. That helps me keep, wanting to keep going. And I hope that that's doing the same for you guys out there. Just knowing that there are other people, who want to love, who want to create a better world, who want to work on themselves so that we don't, again, just start creating tumbleweeds of hate. Quote of the day. It makes me feel better. We have power. We have power as individuals, and we definitely have power as a group trying to do better. And I think that's where I'm going to end today. Our power is important. It's worth protecting. It's worth learning how to have different coping mechanisms with other people who want to take your power. It's worth learning to stand up to people so they stop trying to take your power. It's worth that. It's hard. It may be a long process, but it's worth it. Thanks for being here. Tomorrow I'm streaming CPTSD and we're finally going to talk about self-esteem. Ba-dum-bum. That's for tomorrow at 12:30 PT. I will see you guys soon. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye. Oh.